Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to episode number, I want to say 12 in our Minecraft Bedrock series. Yep, episode 12. It's been a couple weeks since I've recorded on Minecraft. I was on vacation and I was playing it and Oxygen Not Included a lot when I got back. I just had a lot going on in my private life, and I decided to get back into the swing of things. I'm going to start some community project work. So this hub is our overworld hub, and it was built by Sai, and he did a fantastic job. It looks great. But one thing I was looking at and noticing is that when he built it into the space that we had. We were on a mountain, and I feel like the windows and the skylights look so cool that having them still having stuff above them is kind of a travesty. So I am working on coming out here, and I'm going to start by getting up there and do a little terraforming to change it up so that that is better and we can actually see through our all the skylights instead of just some of them. I had actually started doing a little bit over there, but for example, right over here, if we were to dig some here, we can see this is where our window is. And so we have terrain above it just blocking the access to that skylight. So I'm going to go through, remove some of this, and then we're going to work on building a fence around the outside of it so that we can be a little safer. So I had done that around this to prevent stuff from coming in, but I'm just going to get it all set up, and then we will figure out what we want to do after that. First steps I've been taking is kind of following the lead of what was already here. This corner is the one that was exposed out into the area, and so it was kind of finished off on the roof. And so I just finished putting a fence around it. The fence is kind of not needed up here because the idea of the fence is to keep things from coming in, and obviously things can't walk in at this height. But I thought it would look good the whole way around, so I finished it going around. And then up here where the build went underneath the existing mountain, I just followed this along to mark out the edge of the build and did a fence with like a 3-block gap on the outside around it. So what I'm doing next is I am digging down here to make this all even with the layer where the slabs are, and then I'm going to slab over the existing roof so that we have a roof up here that is flat and all slabbed, so that we can have an area up here where people can respawn, or, you know, we've had new players join the world and they come in and they're getting immediately attacked. So we're going to make it so we don't have that. That way, if people die when they don't have a bed set and they respawn here, it's a safe spot to respawn. I'm keeping everything on the inside the same. I'm not making any changes, but I'm just going to kind of make this all uniform up here so it matches the existing stuff that was already there, so that it kind of goes the whole way around. After I finish that, I'm going to remove all the blocks above the building here so that we can get a nice sky view from where we spawn and on the skylights. The other thing is that when you respawn, the actual respawn point is like right over here. This spot right here. But you can spawn anywhere within like 20 blocks of it, but you spawn on the top block. So some people were spawning on top of dirt and up in the trees. You want to make it so that you spawn right on top of the roof every time, and then you can just get down really easily. So it's going to take a little while to get all that cleared out, but then we're going to make this side kind of match that side, and then once we get it all cleared off and we do the same on the other side over there, we'll work on terraforming the edge to have a more natural gradient into the existing terrain so that it doesn't look like we just dug a chunk out of the mountain, which is what we kind of did. There is still quite a bit of cleanup to do here. I have all this up here above the spawn area to remove, but we at least now have a fence that goes all the way around the perimeter of this upper spawn area, and now we can work on it relatively safely. We still need to work on getting slabs down in areas to make sure that everything is spawn proof like we have over on this side. But that will not take a huge amount of time. The one thing I do want to do while I was up here working, see if I can get up there easily to show you where I mean. Always eating food. Okay, so up above this area where we're going to be clearing out, there are some areas where there's some powdered snow. And I don't have any immediate plans for powdered snow, but there are some things that I want to work on that I'll need it. And since we have it here, we might as well grab it. The problem is, my smelter that I built used up all the iron that I had, pretty much. I'm almost completely out. Fortunately, we are right here at spawn. And get rid of some of this stuff in here. Put this back away, because I'm going to need it. And right down from spawn in this direction, we'll go over the hill just so we can get there easily. But this direction is where the shopping district is. And while I have not built an iron farm yet on this map, fortunately, some other people have. One of those people is Waylander. Block DPAT. That's my next project. I think if I finally finish working on it, people will stop changing the name. At least that's my hope. Yeah, let's see. How do I get up in here easily? Yeah, there's a fence up here. Okay, so if I go all the way down to the end, to Waylander's shop, he has iron for sale, and I can use that. Ooh, something new coming up over there. Let's see. That's honey. That's honey. Here's the iron. He is selling 4 diamonds per stack of iron blocks, or 1 diamond per stack of ingots. So let me, yeah, I'm gonna put a ender chest in here somewhere. Let me see how much diamond I have. So if it's 4 diamonds per stack, and I want to get at least 4 stacks. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 3, 4. 1, 3, 4. That'll fill this back up. So now we have iron again. I'd like to get some more. Let's get 7 more stacks. Do I have space in my inventory for that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Perfect. That'll give me plenty to get through my next few projects, I think. Okay, let's get that all done. I can put my vault away. And that will allow us to have some iron to make some buckets, so I can pick up that powdered snow. And then I can work on clearing out the area above spawn. And then all that's left, other than cleaning up the spawn, is to actually do the terraforming around the edges. Because if we come up here, right now we're going to have like a big sharp drop here. I'm going to taper this off, probably change this around a little bit. And then around the back edge, there'll be a big section I need to work on to make it fit into that mountain there. But we're getting there, and it's starting to look pretty nice. I have finished removing all of the area above spawn so that we can get that nice view from inside up through the windows. And now I'm going to finish cleaning up the area up here and start working on terraforming the edges. Roof is done. I had thought about maybe trying to put in some complex lighting, and I might replace these torches with some sea lanterns. But in the end, I just did all slabs around this outside to match the one over there because I was concerned about snowfall, because this is in a snowy biome, and a couple times while I was building, snow came down, and anywhere where I didn't have stairs or slabs just got covered in snow. So I went with this. I'm concerned about snow building up on the glass. I don't know if that's going to happen or not. We'll just have to wait and see when it snows again. But these all match now, so everything is spawn proof and you can walk across it. And so right here is where people will spawn in. And last thing I need to do is get rid of these last couple of signs. And I need to put in a way to get up and down for people that spawn up here, and I need to work on the terraforming. So I'm going to do the terraforming first. I'm going to keep it pretty simple. I'm just going to kind of level this out so it's like a gradual hill instead of a cliff face like that. And try not to do too much because I don't want to overwork the area. But the goal is to make it fit in and not have a big stark contrast line like that. Just tapering off the top side of spawn here, and I was kind of restricted on how much I could go down because the stairwell that goes up to the shopping district path is there, and I kind of did it like this where I exposed that so you could see it, which I thought looked kind of okay. But I can't decide for sure if I like the way that this hill is. I might taper this side down a little bit more, but I'm in like two schools of thought about it. One is that it looks very man-made, but if you build a big building like this and you terraform some of the land, it's gonna look kind of man-made a little bit. I think over on this end I might sculpt it out a little bit more, make it look a little more natural so it kind of meets up with the land that's already over there. I still need to do this wall and then this section here. This is going to be kind of difficult to get it to look natural because I want to kind of keep that spruce forest thing going on, so it's going to take some time, but we'll get it. And this area here, I'm probably going to go a lot farther back than I did with this wall because I couldn't because of this, and then I can kind of make it look a little more natural from here around to where we meet up over on that side. So I'm going to start with the spruce side here and kind of work on this big corner because that's going to be the hardest part. And I started this project here like you would if you were really landscaping an area in real life, and that's that I came through and removed a lot of the trees up top first to get them out of my way. That way I can move the land back. I can always plant more trees afterwards when I'm done to give it that natural look again. But that gives me the ability to remove some of the topsoil and the snow without having to worry about the trees being in the way. This last couple here. By the way, really good tip. If you're cutting down these really big spruce trees, bring a handful of ladders with you. Then you can just climb the top of the ladder. If the elytra doesn't bug you out. And then you can just cut the top, and then as you cut the trunk down, the ladders pop back into your inventory. That's how I've been getting up to the top of them to do it. Get rid of this tree here too. And maybe one more. I don't want to take too much of the trees off because I want that natural look up here, but I do want to have enough space that I can clear back. So if we come down here and look from the top of the roof, the area that we're trying to clear out is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 blocks tall. So I'm thinking if I go back about maybe 20 to 25 blocks up on the top and then start to layer it back out, we'll kind of meet in the middle and then we can touch it up like that. So let me get the coordinates to do it that way. So this is 35, which makes sense. That's what they should all be at. And then if I go back to about 60 at this level and start digging from there and coming out, I can kind of meet in the middle. So I'm going to start here and kind of flatten this out a little bit, get rid of some dirt and level some things off, and then I can take off one layer at a time, but kind of keeping a natural curve on this area to get that look that I'm going for. So it's going to be a lot of digging here to get this done, and I'm mining out some stone. So I will come back once I get the next layer exposed. Kind of what I'm going for here is to slope this down so that this section of hill here is gone, but it kind of meets up with this one where it's kind of natural, and I want to kind of use it as a guide to like where the land will go. So like from here, I'm going to do the next layer and work out from there, but I'm going to leave that edge of that hill, and then we'll flatten out all the way across now that we have that edge, because that kind of looks pretty natural. I may do some tweaking to it when I'm done, but then we'll just get rid of another layer, and then we'll work out one layer at a time until we get down and see how close we are to matching up with the roof area down there. And then we'll come back and kind of fix it up. That's the process I'm going to try to use here. We'll see how well it does. I think what I'm going to do is, since it's going to be just a big repeat of doing the same thing over and over and over again for a little while, I'm going to record and make it into a time lapse so you can see how much I get done. Fortunately, I don't have a way to do a time lapse from a different perspective right now. Eventually I want to set that up, but it'll still at least be a way for you to see the progress as it goes, rather than watching a lot of cuts for the next, 10 minutes or so. So we'll see how it goes. I don't think that my time lapse worked very well. Really, without being able to get an angle from above, it doesn't really do much. But I might try to still put part of it in. We'll see. But I do have some to reveal. I finished this section over here, and I think I did a pretty good job of making this look natural. I may have to change some over here to kind of... I'm still not really loving this terrace look over here. I might try to put some vegetation, see if it looks better, and I have a little bit more to clean up here because I feel like that doesn't look too great. But this pretty much looks as though like it was generated by Minecraft. I have to finish this corner, which is going to be a little tough because I want to try to keep as much of this snow area up here as I can. I'm going to have to eat into it a little bit to get this to round down, and we'll go out and finish this section. But I think overall it's looking pretty good. Let's see if I can get a vantage point from a little farther away to see the whole thing. I think this side over here looks better with the snow on it, so I'm going to leave that. But yeah, I think that looks pretty good. Again, this I might have to change. I'm thinking about kind of cutting back in this way a little bit and taking a little more down here to make it a little flatter, but I don't want to go too far because I'm starting to cut into the shopping district. I think it looks pretty good though. Yeah, Yeah, that section's going to be a little bit tough. Off in the distance, you can see the fireworks stand that we use for when we do the fireworks celebration. Yeah, overall, I'm pretty happy. So I'm going to finish this last corner, and then we'll get a final look at it, maybe get some vegetation up, see if that helps too. I think I've gotten the shape over here almost where I want it. There's a little bit of straightness in this section that I'm going to break up. What I'm debating now is if I want to change this all to over to dirt like I have over here. I think I might do some of it just to fill it in, but like over here where there's some stone underneath where the snow is, it kind of looks good as far as like the mountainous area. So I might leave some patches in, and I think that I might just go kind of up to like this level and make that dirt so that it kind of blends down to the bottom, and then leave some stone up top. But we'll see how it looks. I think I also want to bring the vegetation back up to the edge a little bit like it was before. And this tree is definitely going because it's ugly. But mostly I'm done here. I'm just going to put the finishing touches on and then do some work with the nature, like some trees and some plants and some flowers. I have a lot of flowers that I've collected from doing this. I may have put some of them away. I'll have to go get some more, but I can fill that in over here to kind of make it match. And then this last section here is all that's left to really get done, and then I think that we'll be ready to call this done. Our next episode, we're going to move into doing the shopping district area. I have the block depot over there that I've had for a very long time and have not done anything with. I started it early on in the map and then got distracted to doing other things. I've been putting in these blocks inside these so that when the foxes spawn, they can get out. And also if I fall in, I can get out. But so I've just been doing like 4 in each corner. Stays nice and lit in here, so I don't have to use any slabs or anything. You don't ever see them, so it doesn't matter. But I just don't want stuff getting stuck in there. I think I got them all done now. But we're gonna finish up doing that last little bit of tweaking, and then I will take a fly around and show you all the different angles so you can see it and give me your feedback on what you think of the new spawn roof. But I think it's pretty good, pretty well done project now. There's not much left to do. I have finished making all the changes that I'm going to make for now to Spawn's roof. And I'm here in a backup of the world in creative so that I can do a transition to show you the changes. So this is how things were when I first started here. And here we are again, back in our survival realm. So I do still have a few things that I need to do, but I really like how clearing out the area exposed the pattern that I had made here with the spawn ceiling. It really looks kind of cool. But there was a couple things I set out to do. One was that I wanted to make the spawn roof safe, which it is now. It's all made of slabs and stairs, and it's lit up in the areas where it's not. So when people spawn into the world or they die without a bed and they come back, they'll be spawning into something safe, whether it's night or day, which was the primary goal. The secondary goal is I wanted to open up the area so that all these windows that I had made, the skylights, let a lot of natural light into spawn, and that does. And then I also wanted to do it in a way where we still kept the natural look of the spawn area, because that was one of the things that was important. I've been tweaking, doing the curves and things around here. Honestly, I could probably do it for another 20 hours. This has taken me probably 15 to 16 hours to get everything done how I have it. There's a couple more things I want to do, but I kind of wanted to let it sit for a little while and get some feedback before I do. And the big concerns I have is Is there anything here that doesn't look supernatural where I should do it? This area here still looks kind of man-made as far as landscaping goes, so I might tweak that a little more. I think it looks pretty good. Once I'm done with that, I'm going to go through and put some vegetation up, but I'm going to let it go for now. And then once I'm sure the landscape looks good, I'm going to go through and I'll plant some trees to fill back in the spruce area. And then I'll plant some other trees like oak trees to kind of bring this forest back over where it was. And then I'll just use some bone meal and some other things to add in some grass to make it look a little more complete. But I'm pretty happy with it overall. The other thing is I did not want to take away from Sai's building because he did such a great job with the spawn stuff that I just wanted to kind of accentuate it. And so I kept this as close to exactly the same as he had it before as I could. So I hope that he likes it and doesn't think it changed too much. But yeah, I think I met all the goals that I set out for. Let me do one final look. We're gonna go down here. I think what I'm gonna do is put a scaffolding down in one of these corner rooms. That way people can get up and down from here if they respawn here. Let's do it right here in the corner. Eventually I'd like to put in a like water elevator system, but I kind of also want to check with Sai to see how he feels about that, if he has a specific way he'd like to do that, because I know he still is doing some work in some of these rooms, and I don't want to build anything where it's going to change his plans or whatever. So I'm just going to put a scaffolding here in this corner. That way people can get up and down. But I also want to show the look of spawn now that the roof is all cleared. So before there was a lot of dirt and blocks above here and all those trees, and now it's very open. So especially during the day, it's very bright in here, and that is really nice. I think it's pretty good. In my next episode, I'm going to go work on our shopping area up here. I have the block depot, which is still named the block depot because somebody thinks they're funny. But I want to finish this. This shop is less of a shop and just like an exchange. So as you can see, I modeled it after the Home Depot. So it's the block depot. And the idea is I'm going to have chests in here or I might use barrels, but where you can store, we'll just have blocks. So like down here, I'm going to put some stone, and then I'll put some dirt, and then I'll put some netherrack, and I'll put some gravel. And I'm not going to fill them up. I'm just going to put some in, and then people have excess stone. They can bring it in and drop it off, and then pick up dirt if they need it. And it'll be like kind of like a community storeroom for the things like blocks, where you end up with so many of them that you don't even need them anymore. If you don't want to throw them away, you just bring them down here and drop them off for people to use. Excuse me. But so that's going to be my next episode. I'm going to finish this area and then probably do some tweaking to some of my old shops and clean things up a little bit from what I have here, because this was all built early on. I still have this cave back here that I was filling in that needs to be done. A lot of little things like that. So I hope you enjoyed watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.